Hello YouTube family, Greg D here with TGN, and we are back for another DCUO video. And today, by popular demand, I'm going to be bringing you more of a precision based or more of an actual hybrid based Earth DPS loadout. I've had a lot of comments uh, asking for something that was a little bit more precision based as far as Earth, because a lot of people are not happy with the fact that with the OP play from the tray loadout, you kind of have to get right up to the bosses, and a lot of times you end up dying a lot faster. So a lot of people have been asking me for a more ranged loadout, but I think I found something where you can kind of play both depending on the situation. So with this particular loadout, it's not really too much different from play from the tray. It's just how you spec your skill points. Basically, that's going to make the big difference. And you can basically do a ranged attack if the situation calls for it, or you can do the melee if you're not in the boss top end, that kind of stuff. So basically, what I'm going to show you is how to do each or depending on the situation. So the first thing, obviously, with your skill points, you want to go with your super speed movement. As you see there, I have 155 skill points. It's not awesome, but it's not that horrible either. So as far as the stat points, I did go with an actual hybrid loadout. Now the reason why I went with hybrid as far as instead of weapons expert is because I wanted to get the extra might, because you are going to be using powers and your weapon attacks in this particular loadout depending on the situation. So I wanted to keep that might up, and also you get a little bit of dominance. Not that that matters DPSing, but I wanted to try to keep the might up a little bit, so that's why I went with the actual hybrid as opposed to the weapons expert. Now you can do weapons expert if you really want to get like the most out of your weapon attacks as far as damage is concerned, but that's just up to you. So what I did, critical attack chance, critical attack damage as always. Now what I did with the remaining skill points, I had like 77 left over, so I went with more precision than might. And the reason why I did that is because as of right now, you have to take into consideration your artifacts as well. So right now I have my artifacts set up for play from the tray for the OP loadout, essentially for Earth. So basically I have two artifacts here that increase my might. Now you can, if you really want to be balanced, you can do one artifact that works on might and one artifact that works on precision. By all means you can do that. That's totally up to you, but I have noticed doing this from, or I should say focusing on this particular style as opposed to totally might and the play from the tray, you will notice a reduction in damage as far as jackhammer is concerned. And you will also know that your power, when you do use the totally might aspect of it, your power bar will drain faster, so it won't last as long. And Earth is already power hungry as it is, so just bear that in mind. So basically, what we're going to be doing here as far as the loadout, now the only thing that really changes as far as our actual loadout is we're using reinforce instead of unstoppable, because with your weapon attacks you will still be able to buff up the supercharge. Now the reason why I kept the supercharge is because this supercharge, as far as Earth is concerned, does a huge amount of damage. I'm talking, once you do hit that combo there, I've seen numbers as high as like over 50,000 damage on that last hit. I've seen it like the initial hit maybe be like 15,000. The second hit is maybe like in the 20s, and then like I said, I've seen the last hit be as high as in the 40s and 50s. So that's why I kept it. Now, if you want an extra, I've been playing around with this too, but if you want an extra dot of damage, you can switch out Earthquake for something like Rumble Crush. Not that you necessarily need two powers that start the power interaction, but it's just something to keep in mind. Now, don't forget too that with using Rumble Crush in that aspect, you will be using more of your power, so your might aspect of this loadout will even last less than if you were to not use it. So bear that in mind too. So really the only thing, like I said, the only thing that's different is going to be reinforce, and that is going to be a precision weapon buff. You will get a lot more damage out of your weapon. Just can't talk. You will get a lot more damage out of your weapon for a short period of time as long as it's active. Other than that, the loadout is exactly the same. We still have debris field. We still have totem for a damage over time and to heal our pet. Like I said, I've noticed that in a lot of the top end content that if I was using Fortified Golem to keep the pet powered up, but I've noticed that the pet, if you go that route, the pet seems to die a lot. Crystal seems to die quite often, especially in that tier 9 content. So I'd much rather have the Crystal alive with no power, as opposed to having full power and dead. It doesn't do you any good if the pet is dead. So make sure that the pet Crystal is actually alive. So obviously we have our Summon Crystal Golem, we have Jackhammer, and then the Supercharge Earthquake. So basically what you're going to do is, if you're in a melee situation, if you're, a group of ads, an alert in a raid where you're going to have power, where you're going to have a healer, a tank, then by all means, you can basically just use the might. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip Debris Field and Totem, and then I'm just going to go through. So now even that, and there's your might damage. There's the OP part of it. Now, obviously, it doesn't last as long, like I said, because you're kind of speccing your skill points to be precision and might, so you won't have as much power. You won't have a big of a power pool, so you have to keep that in mind. So that's basically how easy that is. Now, the only difference is you're basically going to be doing the same rotation with your precision thing, only you're going to be adding the weapon attack in there. So what you're going to be doing, I should probably get the pet up too. So basically what you're going to be doing in the precision aspect of it is you're going to be far away, and you're going to basically clip your Debris Field, your Reinforce, and your Totem, and then you're going to go into your Weapon Mastery, which I should show you that really quick here. So what I did was, personally, I like two-handed. That's probably my favorite Weapon Mastery. So what you need to do is you need to fill up all these points, and then you need your Weapon Mastery there, and then I'm using the Bow Weapon Mastery, Arrow, what is it, Arrow Shot or Arrow Sling or something. So you also need to go in here and fill all these up to unlock the Bow Mastery, and then you can come back into your two-handed tree, and you can unlock your Arrow Storm. That's what it's called. Now, I realize a lot of people prefer the play from the tray too, just because you're not using as many skill points. So especially if you don't have a lot of skill points, using up 15 can be a whole lot of difference. So just keep that in mind. I'm just, kind of playing both sides, kind of playing devil's advocate here, just to, make sure that you are cognizant of everything here. Regarding this, you will be using more skill points, so just keep that in mind. Your power pool will be smaller, like I said before. So, okay, so we went through the might aspect, so now the precision aspect. So basically what you're going to do, like I said, you're going to go Debris Field, Reinforce, Totem, and then you're going to shoot through your weapon attacks, basically until the powers cool down. Now, the nice thing is they last a while, so if you need to switch from precision to might, you can kind of do that. Obviously, if you need to be in a ranged situation, you can kind of come back here and you can, do this. But let's say, let's let this cool down a little bit here. Let the powers cool down. I was going to say, if you're in a situation where you need to go from range to a melee to do more damage, you can obviously do so. So what we're going to do is we're going to act like we're in a ranged situation at first. So you're going to go through your things. You're going to do your Weapon Mastery. You'll notice your Weapon Mastery will start to do more damage. And then let's say at this point you need to run up. So you can run up here, and then your powers are good, and then you can just kind of come in here. And so you're still doing decent numbers with Jackhammer. So I feel like you can very well, or do very well in both instances with this particular loadout. So now let's get our crystal out. And now we'll see how the damage differs. So let's do the weapon attacks again. Well, I probably would help if I actually had some power first. So let me get some power back first. I know I'm kind of jumping back and forth here, but I kind of want to show you all aspects of this, because it is truly a great hybrid here. So let's let the power go all the way up. So we'll do both again. So essentially what you could do is you're in a range situation, Debris Field, Reinforce, Totem, Now you'll notice your weapon attacks are like on the low end, maybe hitting like 1,000. On the high end, maybe about 3,000, 3,500. You come in here. Now also, you remember too, your stuff is buffing up. And then with Jackhammer, you're talking hits anywhere from about 2,000 to about 5,000. So just keep that in mind. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pop our trinket once everything cools down. And we're going to get our power back up. Now, of course, in this situation, if you need to totally be melee, you can. And if you totally need to be precision and a ranged attack, you can. So I think that's what's the great thing about this particular loadout. Like I said, if you do want an extra damage over time, add Rumble Crush in instead of the supercharge. But this supercharge does really like so well that I can't justify adding in a dot over a supercharge that can possibly do close to 100,000 damage with the combo. So that's just something to keep in mind. So what we'll do here is we're going to pop our trinket. We're going to go through here. And you'll notice that like the weapon attacks are closer to 4,000 with your trinket buff. And if you come over here and start doing the... You notice a lot more crits with the trinket there too. Like I said, obviously the actual might aspect doesn't last as long if you want to go a hybrid. So that's what I got for you. Try it out yourself. See if you like it. I may post a video of me going through maybe in a duo or an alert just to see how well it does. I mean, you may not necessarily be the top DPS anymore with this particular loadout, but if, like I said, you want something that's kind of hybrid, you want something that's a little bit more engaging, you want something that is going to even up your survivability as far as not having to go melee all the time, then try this out. Let me know if you like it. I kind of like it. It's a lot more fun. It reminds me of the old school Earth loadout of going straight precision, but I feel like with might being so strong, you kind of get the best of both worlds in this case. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. And until next time, we'll see you soon.